Hi, everybody. Welcome to another movie chat with myself, Joe Mayo, and Tim Allen.
Hello.
Another Thursday, which is the night that we tried doing these. And I'm not sure about, I probably, I definitely, I should say, I'm not going to be able to do one next Thursday. I'm going to be out of town. I won't have my laptop with me either. So there'll be no show next Thursday. But let's concentrate right now on this one, because we're here now. So, how you doing today, Tim?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Joe?
Okey doke. All right, let me just get started here. I noticed Beetle Eddie. First, he says hello, of course. Uh, he says, "I heard you didn't like Smile 2. The end where is a spoiler for everybody. The end where she kills herself on stage and the whole arena sees this. That means that like 20,000 people are going to be affected by it. Yes, that is one thing. I don't know if I mentioned that in my review. I did not like the movie. I gave it 0 stars, and that doesn't usually happen. I hated it that much. But the thing is, I did like the end. I thought that was a good idea. The idea in Smile is supposed to be that, if you see somebody give you this a certain smile, you're kind of like affected by it. And when you smile at somebody, you takes you over, or something like that. But now she got this star she's a singer, and at the end, it happens on stage with all on the video screens and everything. She's doing it to the whole audience. So that's a good idea for another sequel going forward. Who knows? Am I going to see another one? Am I going to see Smile 3 because I like the idea of it affecting the whole, audience? Maybe. I don't know. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting sequel. Yeah, it's a good idea to start with. Hi, James. There we go.
Hi,
Tom and
James.
Tim. I don't see any Tom, but Tim is here.
Yeah.
Tom Hunyadi's been very busy and working and stuff. He's not been able to come up. He's welcome anytime he's able to spare some time. That's all I can say. And there you go. That's what I like. Yeah, don't forget Tim. There you go. That's what I like.
Hello, Eddie.
Hello, Mr. Mayo. Hi, Mike Wall, Jasper. Wait a minute. We got another one here. We got hello, Tom, and then hello, Tim. It's tough sometimes with the Tim and Tom thing. I get mixed up with that too.
Well,
So hello.
I grew up with Tim and Tom, so
Yeah.
my brother's Tom, so I
Tom,
grew up with
Tom Allen and Tim Allen. Wow, was that confusing at all?
No,
Growing up,
we're twins. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a twin.
I
So
forget.
that's how you name twins. Is generally something like that. So.
Identical twins?
Yeah.
Well, you might have told us that. That's in the dark recesses of my memory somewhere. You might have mentioned that before. Well, I got to say, for me, it's been a very sparse week as far as watching movies, but I've watched TV. I watched a bunch of Columbo things, and I'm going to start with that. Again, there are not many people here yet to get into that, but I don't really have anything to say. I'm still enjoying it. The Peter Falk character of Columbo gets better and better. More, comfortable with the part and everything. And I'm starting season 3 now, which doesn't really mean much. I mean, there's just a few TV movies that constitute a season. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
Whether it's 6 or something like that. That's like a season or something like that. Some of the standouts I've seen that come to mind. I saw one. I think it's called Double Shock. It has Martin Landau playing 2 characters. Twins. What do you know? Twins, twin brothers. And they're the villains in this, one. That was a pretty good one. I just watched, just before I came on, actually, I finished one with Donald Pleasance in it as a wine connoisseur. And he's perfect for that part. I'm not a big Donald Pleasance guy. I don't know. I just find him too theatrical at times or over the top. And I'm not one who says that. I'm not a person that always jumps on everybody. Oh, he's overacting. Oh, that's too much. Oh, it's so fake. But for some reason, he strikes me. There were a couple of instances of that in this Columbo episode, but still, it worked. It worked. It didn't take me out of it. I only dislike overacting if it seems fake to me, like and it's not real, you know. But it was okay here, I guess. But I will defend Donald Pleasance and my view of him in the Halloween franchise because I like him in the Halloween franchise. It's one of the standout things about it is him being a little bit of a crazed, in a way, eccentric doctor, and he has those ways about him and being over the top. I can take it there too. But I've seen other movies with him. One of them comes to mind is Will Penny. It's a Western. And he's in Will Penny, and to me, his character is just like needlessly like animated and over the top in there and overdoes everything. So, but anyway, go ahead.
I like him when he's this meek little guy. Like, I think his greatest role may be The Great Escape. I think he's perfect in that when he's just this meek little guy who can hardly see, and I think he's really good at that.
Does he do anything in there like, no, you can't barely see?
No. He barely he's shy. He barely speaks.
That would work.
Very, he's just about blind, and he hooks up with James Garner in The Escape, and James Garner has to take care of him. He's good.
Yeah. Well, so that's all I've been doing. I haven't even gotten any Christmas movies on. I usually watch some. I mean, I did watch It's a Wonderful Life, and the B. Letty's talking about that. I did watch that again, and I do like that movie now. I talked about it last time, but I haven't it's getting closer and closer to Christmas Day, and I haven't dug out any of the movies yet. Isn't that something?
I haven't watched very many, largely because of doing this. I know people don't want to hear about that many Christmas movies, so
Well, it would be nice if things were different. I guess with our tastes and things, I would say all right, this would be good to do a Christmas show, But I wore my Terrifier Christmas shirt here. I don't know if you know the new Terrifier 3 is a Christmas theme. So he's a Santa Claus you don't want to deal with. Let me tell you. So that's that. Hello, good evening to Michael. I just had him up there. Hello, JP. Did you see the documentary on TCM about the Jerry Lewis movie that the clown cried? It shows clips from the movie. It's called From Darkness to Light. No, I have not, but I know that's supposed to be coming, right?
Well, no. What Jerry Lewis's will said is it can't be released until 20 years after my death or whatever. So this year is the first year it could come out. It doesn't mean it will or that it ever will, but according to the will, it could. The will prohibited it until 2024. So, but I don't see them putting it on. I want to see it. I really want to see it, to be honest. But
I was talking about Double Shock with Martin Landau, the twin brothers. The uncle gets killed. Oh, there you go. It's no big surprise. I mean, because that's what Columbos do. They show you who gets killed and how right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Trevor from the UK. Wow, you're watching at 11 p.m. That's not too late over there. 11 p.m. is not too late. Have you seen the Superman trailer released? I have not seen the Superman trailer. Do you care about that, Tim?
No. No.
Yeah, I really want to show an interest, Trevor, in it, but I think I'm Supermaned out. I think. I don't know. I'll leave my mind open. See what happens.
I'm superheroed out. I have been for years.
Yeah, definitely superheroed out. It says here, or not your thing. Yeah, he added to this one at the end.
No.
Yeah. Has Jerry Lewis been dead 20 years?
Well, maybe, whatever it was in his will, maybe it was 10 years. I don't know, but his will stipulated that maybe it's 10 years. So maybe it's been 10 years. I don't know. But 2024 was the first time it could happen. But it doesn't mean it will. But it's the first time it could legally.
Hello to Oliver in Bermuda, which is a place I wouldn't mind being compared to here right now. Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
No, thank goodness it doesn't stick around. But we've had like
I
5 calls already.
Like, oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah. Like, stop it.
Yeah, remember, I know you like my rant with that one, first rant that I did. Yeah. That's a goodie. It's a Tim favorite. Yep. I got a little bit of a rant I'll throw in here. One of the things that happens around here when the weather gets colder is your tire pressure light goes on. You start losing air from your tire. And I'm like, damn it. So it went on. Now I got to be going on a trip for Christmas. So yesterday I brought my car into the shop. And I said, I need an oil change. Okay. And there's a bulb. There's like a fog light, one of the fog light bulbs that I could use a replacement. And I said, plus I needed to be prepared and ready for a trip. And that's all I said. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what that entails because I didn't say check the belts, top off the fluids, make sure the tire pressure light goes off and the air. I figured they know this is what they do when they're checking your tires. They're going to make sure everything's good. I didn't have to say specifically. So I leave the shop. I'm driving home. Yes, this is yesterday, and the light's still on, the pressure light. Like there's something wrong with the air still. I'm like, so I call up the guy. I say, yeah, the tire pressure light's still on. And I said, do you think maybe it takes a little time? He says, yeah, it could take like 3. You got to drive 3 to 5 miles. It'll go off. I said, well, did they do? Because the man that I'm talking to at the service station, he doesn't do the work. He's just the guy, the boss. He tells them. Yeah. So I don't think they did shit because I drove it for a day, never went off. So today I'm at my record store and they have a gas station right nearby. So a guy says to me, I mean, look, I could do some things I put air in the tires before, but not recently. So the guy says, hey, let's bring it over. I'll help you out with that. Well, your tire pressure should be like 35 or something, he said. So he has the thing where you do the tires and the little gauge comes out. Yeah. I never bought. I'm stupid. I admit it. With that, I just fill it a little bit. I don't even look. But this time he did it right. And so he did it. He made it 35 or so, something like that, 36. And then I'm driving home, and within a minute, the light went off. So those mother effers didn't even freaking do it. And I don't mean that they didn't do it out of like jipping me or anything. I've been going there since 2001. But I don't think he even said anything. Yeah. He said, yeah. I said, did they do it? He goes, yeah. Oh, yeah, they must have done it. Yeah. You got to spell it all out, Tim. You got to spell every little thing out. Make sure you check that tire pressure. Make sure it's the right one and the light goes out, okay? There you go. There's a winter rant. I turned out a winter rant out of it.
I just let mine go all winter, and then in the spring it goes off again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I wasn't driving 6 hours. Yeah. But I'm worried about it.
Because the thing is, when you put air in it like you did in the spring, when it gets warm, it'll probably come on again because there's too much air in your tires.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so ridiculous. The whole thing. And then the guy texts me, the guy that put the air that helped me with the air. He goes, by the way, he goes, I forgot to look at your door to see how much air there should be in there. I'm like, what? Because did the light go off though? I said, yeah. He tell me that's too much. I think he did 35 or 36. I think that's what it is. So, I mean, you can't get exactly at 35, but between 35 and 40. All right, so there's a new Christopher Reeve documentary. Every time I think about Christopher Reeve, I think of that accident. Terrible. Every time I think about him. Yep. I feel bad about that, God. I remember that hearing that news back in the day. I have a good Christopher Reeve joke, but I don't have a dollar bill here with me. No, but I feel terrible about it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, 2017. Yeah, it was wow.
Okay.
So maybe it's 27. Maybe it's 2027.
I don't know. I don't know. I saw a documentary once, and it said, you know, it was just a YouTube documentary. But anyway, it said according to the will, this is the first year it could come out where it didn't violate the will. It's all I know. I have no idea. But it doesn't mean it will. And you know, but I would
Yeah,
like to see it for one.
when you said that he was dead 20 years or whatever, I thought to myself in the back of my head, I thought, I don't think it's been that long, because
Mhm.
I seem to remember his old mug being on interviews and being nasty to so his interviewer and stuff. So it's like it seemed pretty fairly recently.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the movie will be, if I mean, it was never completed, so they'll have to finish it, and it might be better than people think it will be.
Is it like a half an hour now or something? What they got of it?
No, they've got most of it. They've probably got a full length movie, but it was never edited together. You know, post production was never done, so you have to do all that. Once you film your raw footage, you always have to spend like a year in post production making it into a film. That was never done.
Okay, so Bermuda. Am I out of my mind? I don't know anything about geography. Yeah. So, an hour 45 minutes. Well, Tim, how about you and your week that passed? Have you seen
Well,
movies or attained any movies?
I watched a couple episodes of Columbo, the later movies. Uh,
Yeah.
that was actually more than a week ago, and I don't really remember them except that I liked them. That's about it.
Well, you
I
still
liked
think
this
they're pretty
character.
good, even though
One was really funny. One was like extremely funny. I was like, he's funny. The show isn't funny, but he was funny.
oh
So,
yeah,
I mean, sometimes I mean, there was one where he said, "I'm sorry to bother you as a rich guy. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry for your loss and blah blah blah." And he leaves, and you see him walk away, and the camera just lingers on the door for literally like 90 seconds, and
oh I know why.
then
I know why.
knock 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 knock. Just one more thing.
Yeah,
You're
I
waiting
well, I
for it. You know, they waited so long. You're waiting
yeah,
for it, and here it is.
yeah, yeah. It's too bad I'm not watching those at the same time you are, so that we could like compare them.
Yeah,
Maybe we could do that again or something another
yeah.
time.
And other than that, I've watched two Christmas movies. One's only
Okay.
really a half of a Christmas movie. I wouldn't call it. And don't you're gonna, maybe, I don't know. I've never seen it before. I watched Holiday Inn.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
Well, White Christmas was a loose remake of Holiday Inn, but I will
Okay.
tell you that this is so much better than White Christmas.
I don't find that hard to believe.
So much better. Um, it's a great film. I think it's a great film. This is the movie, of course, where White Christmas comes from, the song.
Yeah.
Um, but Bing Crosby, very briefly, Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire are partners, showbiz partners. Astaire dances, Bing sings, and there's a woman. It's not this woman. It's a different woman that Bing is about to quit and marry, and he doesn't know it. But Astaire's been seeing her too, and they're about to run off together after Bing's proposed, and so Astaire steals his woman, but Bing is lazy, and his whole plan was he bought a farm and he was gonna go just be a farmer and take his new wife with him. Well, the new wife didn't go, and Bing finds out farming is much harder than he thought.
Wow.
So
I hope there's a lot of snow on
he
that
turns
one.
his farm into a motel called the Holiday Inn, which is where the Holiday Inn comes from. They took it
Oh,
from the movie. Um, as a hotel, as a place to spend holidays, and it was only opened on holidays, so it was open 15 times a year, because there were 15 holidays back in 1941 or two or whenever this was. 42, I think it came out, filmed in 41. And because he's lazy, this is easy. The rest of the time he can do what he wants, and anyway, he meets this woman who accidentally, she wants to be in show business and stuff, and she winds up meeting his manager, and he's to get him away from Astaire. The manager sends her to the Holiday Inn, and he meets Bing, and then Bing falls in love with her, and then after the original fiance jilts Astaire too, Astaire goes to the Holiday Inn to just for some work and to see his old buddy and blah blah blah, and is drunk by the time he gets there because he gets drunk when his fiance leaves him, and winds up dancing with the new woman, and then Astaire tries to steal her too. And
Oh,
so
every little detail.
this is the only time I've ever seen Astaire play a guy that you really don't like.
Oh, really? Well, I'd rather give that a try after White
Yeah,
Christmas.
no, but as a warning to anyone that wants to watch it, there is a minstrel sort of scene in it,
Oh, I
which
hope everybody that watches that doesn't like turn into like a pumpkin or something, or
yeah,
deteriorate into like
but I mean, you get
powder.
it's just the times, and you can't,
Yeah,
and it does fit into the plot. Some versions, in fact, recently have cut it out, but it fits into the plot, and without it, you get a little confused. But anyway, really good movie, and there is a colorized version, and I watched
no.
I watched that too because there's a commentary. So I watched the colorized version with the commentary, and actually, it looked really good. I actually like it in color as well. I didn't hate it in color. So Holiday Inn, I recommend it
Well,
despite
Tim,
the
I want to know if it's Christmassy at all, because White Christmas is
well,
not Christmassy.
Christmas is one of the 15 holidays, and White Christmas is in it. But no, it doesn't take place at Christmas most of the time. It
Yeah.
sort of it sort of begins and ends at Christmas, sort of. But it's not. You can watch it all year round. It's not a movie that you would just watch at Christmas time. So yeah, and then I watched this once before, and I wanted to see it again. One that most people don't know about. It happened on Fifth Avenue. Another Christmas movie that's not all that Christmassy, to be honest. Um, and do you recognize this guy? No? You're muted, Joe. You're muted.
Oh, did you hear who I guessed?
No.
It looks like it might be Mr. B a little bit.
Yep. Don DeFore from Hazel.
There you go. Geez, thank God, because I said it when the mute was on. I'm like, oh, he
No,
didn't say anything.
he's the star of this. And this is an interesting movie because he gets kicked out of his house because his apartment because they're turning it into like condominiums and all of this stuff. And he's the last guy to go, and he won't go. And finally, they throw him out. And so he's homeless, and then he's spotted by this other homeless guy who takes him home because this other homeless guy has found a home. He moves into every winter. 2 days after this guy goes to Virginia for the winter, he moves into his house. He's found a way in, and he lives in this mansion. So now these two guys are living in this guy's mansion, and of course the mansion belongs to the guy that kicked him out of his house. And mayhem ensues, and the daughter runs away from school because she can't stand it anymore and goes home and finds him there, but she doesn't let on who she is, and they let her stay, and there's a whole group of people living there before long, including the father. It's an interesting kind of screwball comedy, and it's a very good movie that not enough people know about. It happened on Fifth Avenue.
There you go, another one with a
Yeah,
Christmas. Try make it look Christmassy in the background to get you to buy it.
yeah,
Um,
and but I think I to be honest, I'm only halfway through my second time watching it, and I don't remember the end. But I know that Christmas is coming up in the movie because it starts around then. So I'm assuming around Christmas is when the finale is.
okay, I want to catch up a little bit. Let me go. I gotta go back up. Yeah, back to the clown who cried or that cried, whatever it's called. Jerry's son said something like, "There isn't a good print."
Well, it's the negatives, everything still exists, but like I said, it was never doctored. Once you get a negative, you do post production, you make it look good, you color time it, you do all this stuff, you edit it together, you do the sound. None of that was ever done.
Yeah, I mentioned this a few times. Yes, I do want to see the Bob Dylan biopic. The trailer looks good to me, and I also want to see Nosferatu. That's two movies I want to see. If I go the whole year, there's usually not two theatrical movies I want to see, and here they are two, both of them on Christmas Day, which pissed me off. Of all days of the year that to put these out, we went through this last time, and last show we did this. But if Tom Hunyadi was here, he would tell you that I think he said he was going to maybe try to see both of them on Christmas Day. That's Nosferatu and Bob Dylan. So I think Holiday Inn much better than White Christmas. I'm biased as a Crosby fan.
Yeah, I agree. Just it's not so convoluted. But what I was gonna say about Holiday Inn is while they were filming it, Pearl Harbor happened and we entered World War II. So they did come up with a patriotic scene to put in it. Um, just because that's what you did. There originally wasn't one, and Irving Berlin wrote a new song and they put a patriotic, let's go America scene in the middle of the film because Pearl Harbor got bombed and we entered World War II.
I've never seen A Christmas Story. Let me tell you something. I've never seen it all the way through. I've seen a lot of clips, and it doesn't look like I want to see it when I see all the clips. Are you Tim?
I think it's a great little movie. It didn't do well when it came out. It's amazing that it's become this classic.
Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about it. It makes me so angry. And
no,
another one.
It's really good. If you see now, you've seen clips, so you're jaded. So if you see it now, you might not like it. But
I haven't seen them, many of them.
If you go in blind and you've never seen it before and you have no idea, it's a really charming.
I have not seen that many, but I'm tired of it makes me. I'm going to give a rant here. Everybody treat it like the greatest thing since sliced bread every Christmas. Now, I did a video a while ago where it was 24 questions answered or something, and one of the questions was a movie that you'll see someday that you haven't seen. I picked Lawrence of Arabia. And I really should have thought of it. I didn't have the presence of mind to say A Christmas Story. That's probably one that I should have chosen as I'll see it one day, because I got to get that out of here so people can. And who keeps busting my chops about it to see it? Mikey Arugula, the same guy that's busting my chops to see what was the other movie, A Star Is Born. Was it? The newest one.
Oh, the newest one.
The newer one. Not the old one. The newer one. And I'm like, all right, let it go. If I'm not interested, I'm not interested. That's one of the rant videos I made on my other channel. Yeah. But yeah, that's one that they talk about it so much. So just to avoid this every year, it would be good to just be able to see it.
For me, it's like way better than Home Alone, which is the Christmas classic. I think it's way better than Home Alone for me.
Yeah. How do I feel about colorization? Well, I'll start first. Let's let Tim. Well, first of all, when they first talked about colorization way back in the 80s, I think I was against it completely. on principle, and I still am kind of against it. I still, in a way, I still believe that if it was made in black and white, it should stay in black and white, all that kind of thing. However, they've really been able to improve the technique lately. One time I saw a version of that I no longer have of March of the Wooden Soldiers, Laurel and Hardy, aka Babes in Toyland, that was colorized. I saw a shitty one version, and I saw a really good one, and the good one really worked for me. But I've seen other things too. Like I've seen the Munsters. One of the Munsters episodes is really nicely colorized. I've seen they had like season 1 of I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched colorized. They got a lot better at it. If they can do it a lot better and really make it look authentic and real, that's the main thing, that the quality suffers. But as far as then, the only thing left for me to moan about is, again, to be somebody who wants things to be pure and traditionally as they were conceived. And I don't know. Then you get the other thing, like, well, as long as you have an ability to see the black and white original, as long as you always can see it, have a choice, what's the difference? So, but well, some movies work in black and white. Some movies work in black and white.
I think it's intent too. Like I don't ever want to see a film noir in color.
Yeah, I was going to say
they're purposely filmed in black and white. I don't want to see A Hard Day's Night in color. It almost comes off as newsreel footage, as a documentary, and I think it should stay that way. But like something like Holiday Inn, filmed in 1941, yeah, they had color then, but they didn't have the budget. If they had the budget to film that in color, I think they would have. So I don't mind that being in color, because I think they would have filmed it in color if they could. They couldn't. So
yeah, because it is so true. When you say about film noir and things like that, that stuff is great in black and white. That's what the whole idea of it is, Yeah, for a minute when Tim showed me that picture of the cover, Ray Milland popped in my head, but I couldn't think of. Then I said Mr. B because I didn't know the guy's name. The guy from Hazel,
Don DeFore, and somebody else was showed up in the the banker from It's a Wonderful Life showed up, and someone else. I'm like, God. Alan Hale Jr. is in this movie as well. So yeah, all kinds of people.
Christmas with the Cranks. I think I saw that one time. That Jamie Lee Curtis one. Play at the end credit, the traditional song in the style of a Beatle tune. Hello, Rocco, by the way. The Beatles Christmas album. The album itself, the LP, was not released, but there was a little box that was released that had
the Beatles. It was Christmas. Fan club released. There is a legitimate fan club issue that came out in 1970.
I guess you could say that.
But it was never released for sale. Like the single, like the original records weren't either. Same thing. There is a legit fan club release, but there's probably 20 times more bootlegs of it than there are actual original copies.
What movie is that? There you go.
I disagree. I don't really like Home Alone. I thought it was sort of silly.
This is not always true. It's not always true. Sometimes they wanted it in color, but they
couldn't. Not necessarily. See, that's what I was saying. If you don't have, it's 1941 and you don't have the budget to do color. Color was very, very, very expensive in 1941. You didn't do color. So no, they wouldn't have done it necessarily in color if they could have. So no, that's not necessarily true. And same thing with like the first season of Bewitched or I Love Jeannie or something like that. They would definitely have done those in color if they were able to, but they didn't have the budget and weren't allowed to. So I don't mind when they colorize that. Again, as long as the original still exists.
Now, her favorite sitcom Christmas episode, there's a bunch of them that I watch. Maybe my favorite one is it's from the King of Queens. The King of Queens, they They were on for 9 seasons, and must have did like 7 or 8. They did a Christmas episode like every season. But my favorite one, and it's better if you see it because I can't just do it justice, but it's one about a toy called Mentalo. And Mentalo is it used to tell the future from the 70s, a toy that Doug on the show grew up with as a boy. And he wants a Mentalo doll. The name of the episode is called Mentalo Case, like mental case, Mentalo Case. And it has to do with him wanting that toy back again. And his wife tries to get him a used copy, and his friend wants one too, and that kind of thing. And I like it. I would say I like the Honeymooners Christmas episode, except I'm just so tired of it, to tell you the truth. But I do like it. The classic 39 one,
Yeah, that might be my favorite. But can I mention one that's not? It's a holiday episode, but it's not Christmas. My favorite all-time holiday episode of any show is Mad About You. The Thanksgiving episode is just brilliant, where they're trying to serve everybody a turkey, and something happens to that turkey like 10 times. You have to keep going to get another turkey, and it's just hysterical, and it doesn't stop. It was brilliant. It's my favorite all-time holiday episode. When it wasn't Christmas, it was Thanksgiving.
There was an episode, I don't know, I'm trying to remember if it was a Christmas episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, where it has to do with records, where Raymond buys his dad a CD player, tries to get him into CDs, because he used to have a collection of jazz records, and the jazz records got destroyed. I think Raymond, one of the kids, had them moved them by the radiator, and so he tries to make it up by buying him a CD player, but he don't like CDs. The phone is like too newfangled technology. He wants his old crispy, noisy records, And I don't remember if that was a Christmas episode or not, but I did like that one. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Night of the Living Dead. It's funny. Well, I don't know, because, actually something like that with, gut munching zombies and blood would be something that should be in color in a way. But yet the thing is, it's something about it. I don't know. Again, what do you want to say? Documentary style?
Yeah,
or
I was just about to say that movie has a documentary feel that I
like. Something about it. It makes it feel like you're watching a newsreel or something that really happened. Yeah. I do like Miracle on 34th Street. Again, the one with Edmund Gwenn and Maureen O'Hara. But as far as colorizing that's another one. It's funny. I haven't seen it in color. It could work in color, but I'm happy.
I prefer it in color. It's maybe the only colorized movie in the world that I actually prefer in color.
Young Frankenstein, it was intentionally in black and white, and it should be in black and white.
Yeah,
because they're trying to.
That movie was made in black and white, and any movie made past like 1970 at minimum, if you don't even go back further, that's in black and white, was made purposely in black and white.
Yeah, because they're trying to copy the style of the old Frankenstein movies. That's the reason.
Yeah.
Penny Lane, what's up? I don't mind old movies and TV series in black and white. That's how I grew up seeing certain ones. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But for a while, I don't know if you remember this, Joe. For a while, like shows like Gilligan's Island, when they were in syndication, most syndicators you'd only see season 2 or 3. You wouldn't see season 1 because it was in black and white, and they're like, nobody wants to watch black and white. Same thing with Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie. You wouldn't see the first season because it was in black and white.
See, it's funny. I don't know how I feel about something like Lost in Space. I mean, the first season is in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one I feel really should be in color. Although there's something about the black and white that works for it too.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't mind it in color, but
I've seen a lot of photographs of it in color, like their outfits and stuff, what they look like. I don't really know the Sanford and Son episode. All I know is when he's singing the song, the Christmas song. And I like when people sing that line to see if reindeer really know how to fly, and they put an S at the end of it, like reindeers,
Oh,
which is not grammatically correct. Because you got Fred Sanford to see if reindeers really know how to fly. David, hello, David. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, David. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Uh, Hello, Patrick. What's going on? Oh, this is nice. I thought of you today when I scored the Odd Couple complete series DVD at Goodwill for $4. Very
wow,
nice.
very
You know,
good.
I'm still pissed off as hell, and so are fans that they edited. Some of them, season one's not edited. The other seasons, it gets worse around season three. They take songs out and snippets of songs and things, but they're still enjoyable. If somebody out there never saw The Odd Couple and they went ahead and got the DVD, Blu-ray sets, you know, home
No,
video sets, they wouldn't be disappointed. They would have a good. You wouldn't know what you're missing. It doesn't hurt it
no.
really, but
Copyright, you know.
yeah, all that
It's
stuff.
not always that they don't want to pay it. It's not a lot, but sometimes they just won't. No, you can't use it. Sorry, you
Well,
know.
that's one of the cases where every time they show those on TV, whatever station it is,
Mhm.
they're complete. You know, and I know it's different when you have home video.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is different,
But the
but
point I'm making is, in that case, that's a rarity where you're better off recording them off TV.
yeah.
You know, but still, I'm glad to have them. I just wish that they would correct that someday. But
Mm.
yeah, back to the Mentalo episode. Doug and Deacon both want that, and there's some funny things about it. One of my favorite lines in there is like with the Jerry Stiller character. This is my kind of humor, where uh, you talk about what they're going to get for Christmas and what they're thinking they're going to get, and he goes, "I hope I don't get another old man cap." He says, "I can't. I don't know how many more of those I could keep just accidentally losing on the bus." And then there's a scene later where, of course, for Christmas he opens it up and they gave him an old man cap again, and he goes, "Oh, what an old man cap!" And she goes, "I thought you said you lost the last one on the bus." That's a funny one. Uh, Back in the day, records were seen as a joke. LOL. You know, I was at the record store today, and they're playing a lot of records. You know, we sample a lot of records, and I'm listening. Sometimes I'm like, I could just hear, like, not even, I don't even mean snap, crackle, pop. How's that for a plug for you? But I just mean like a tinny sound on it. Like, it just not as like clean and vibrant as like a CD sometimes. And I'm like, and sometimes they sound amazing. Sometimes the record sounds amazing. So, and
You
nothing
get,
better.
I get moods. Sometimes I love record noise, and sometimes not so much. Um, you know, it just depends.
I see, said the blind man.
Oh,
Hello,
matchstick.
Matchstick Man.
Um,
That's a good word. I finally watched Cruising, and besides seeing a young Sorvino and Joe Spinell as a crock sweaty cop, thought it was kind of a mess. Love the street scenes. That's a Al Pacino movie. Was that William Friedkin? I think William Friedkin directed it.
could
But I
be.
did see it one time. I'm going to say around 1986 ish. I know because I know a woman I was going out with at the time, and older woman when I was 20. I was 24. She was 41.
Wow.
How does that fit in here? But anyway, and we rented it. I don't remember a damn thing about it. So there you go. Uh, oh, this is interesting. Well, I caught the film Needful Things. I didn't realize Charlton Heston's son was the director. Yeah, director. Yeah, Fraser, Fraser Heston. Yeah, he's directed some movies, and he directed a lot of his dad Charlton Heston's movies later in Heston's career.
Wow.
Some of the TV movies he made and stuff. But the thing is, Needful things. I was vacationing. I swallowed the wrong way. I was vacationing once in Arizona in 1993, and we went out to a drive-in movie over there. We hadn't been to a drive-in movie in a while, and they had different screens playing, and they had Jurassic Park or Needful Things. And I
Mm-hmm.
went to see Needful Things. Why? I have no idea. I don't remember a thing about it except that Max von Sydow, or however you say his name, is was in Needful Things. That's the
Yeah,
old,
I started driving too, and I just remember, somebody goes to his shop for something, and he goes, "That's what you want, but this is what you need." That's all.
what you
That's all.
need.
That's all I remember. I don't remember. I remember almost nothing from it. There was a kid
I
in
don't
it.
even remember. What was your biggest surprise gift for Christmas? Well, it hasn't come yet, so I don't know yet for me.
Well, me either, but I think he might mean like ever.
I think they know better than to colorize a hard day. Is not, oh, we give them too much
Um,
credit.
yeah,
We give them too much credit.
there's so many fans that want it, and I'm like, I don't.
I
I,
got to tell you, I would be curious, but I do think, like you, I've said every time this comes up, I say I think the documentary style, but also Liverpool. It just, I know it's not in Liverpool, it doesn't take place in Liverpool,
yeah.
but the whole England thing, the rain, the black and white, it just fits the Beatles era, that time. Come, 60, starts to get to be color once you start getting into this later
Uh,
60s, then it's color.
and I think period things like that. I think it would actually look more dated in color than it does in black and white. I really
Yeah, that
believe.
does happen. I think you're right. I would agree with that one. Yeah, I was just thinking about this. I remember watching Abbott and Costello Sunday mornings at Channel 11. Me too. When the movie starts, you see the words "edited for television." Well, I don't remember that, but yeah, yeah, they put commercials in, sure, but yeah, it's every Sunday morning. Yeah, I would watch Abbott and Costello, and that's how I got into Abbott and Costello. And we'd always have pasta on Sunday dinner. About 1 in the afternoon, lunch or whatever. That was a big thing.
I
Good
remember.
times.
I think it was Sunday afternoons. Maybe it was 11 o'clock. I mean, it wasn't quite. I mean, it was noon. Maybe it was one. One of the New York stations. It wasn't PIX. It might have been OR or NEW. But they had a Sunday morning movie for a few years, and it was King Kong every Sunday. Do you remember this? I
Yeah, well,
remember
there
it
was one time they had
specifically.
something called the million. I don't know if it was $1 million movie. That was at night. But it was Channel
Yeah.
9. Channel 9 had them every day. I don't know if it was every Sunday or every day for a while. It was a long. It was over and
Yeah,
over and
it
over.
was
That's all I remember.
Sundays, and it was King Kong every.
Yeah,
So
and it
I
was a
always
big
credit
deal to
that
me
with the
too.
movie I've seen the most.
Yeah, I mean, I always watched it too. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a movie
because
I still
it
like.
was public domain, so it was free. That's why they did it. It
Oh,
was they could show a free movie that 2 hours of commercials with no programming costs. So
I mean,
off you go.
even though I'm not a big fan of stop motion animation and that kind of thing, whatever, but I gotta say, and that was 1933, so it was pretty impressive for 1933.
Yeah,
But I still think it really moves as an action film. I think it really, it really is still, exciting and stuff. I really still like it uh, when I do watch it. I liked Beatles '64. I just watched it for a third time only because I got together with my friend Anthony, and Anthony wanted to see it, so I watched it. I still had it on Disney, so I put it on, and it's gotten better. I still believe there's all kinds of flaws with it. That's from a nitpicking perspective of a diehard fan that seen it all and everything, but it's not as bad as people say. It's still Anthony liked it. He said I thought it was good, and I said, well, yeah, he's not like as nitpicky as I am with it, but
I don't think it's bad. I just don't think
yeah.
there wasn't much new for me. So that's I'd rather see just like every snippet of the Maisel brothers film that there is edited together with with no talking heads, with no nothing. Just start, go. You tell a story that way. I think would be better for me.
Yeah.
At least.
So I would like to see all of that. And I've said many times, anytime this topic comes up, I can't get enough personally of seeing any footage and all footage of that back in that time at the 64 of the fans and everything. They go in the store, buy the records in the actual stores, seeing the
Yep.
stuff for sale, seeing them, hearing them talk about it. And I love that bit. Some people criticize a bit with the classier girls from Juilliard or whatever who like classical music, and we don't usually like this kind of music. This is all classical music I have here, at cheap music, and we love them. We just think they're fantastic. I love stuff like that to see how it affected. Even if you were like a classic music snob or whatever, you suddenly love the Beatles anyway. I love all that stuff. I could see forever. And I heard that there's like another 20 hours. I don't know if that's true. That sounds like a lot, but there might be a lot more of that stuff that could come out. Yeah, this is a biggie, right? This is still a thing. Some people refuse to watch a movie just because it's not in color, and that really is sad and pathetic.
Well, they're missing out. I just feel sorry for them.
If you can't get into that mode, that's it. But again, I've been revisiting the whole aura about 12 Angry Men lately because I'm watching a lot of reaction videos. That's one of the things I love. I love movies that I know, that I've seen, and watching it with somebody who hasn't seen it, engage in their reaction. So I like watching reaction videos that are on YouTube with movies I know very well. And I've been watching at least a dozen so far, over the last week, of 12 Angry Men, seeing their reactions, and everybody loves it. Everybody. And a lot of young people, mostly young people, who don't go for these kind of movies, and they're like, this was one of the best movies I ever saw. And that is the template, right, so to speak, for a movie. Show me a movie in black and white that's going to convince me if I don't like black and white movies. That's the one I'd pick. There are probably others as well, but that was be one of the first ones I picked. And not just black and white, but not much, no action, not a lot of explosions, no effects, just a room.
Yep.
Dialogue, good writing.
Yep.
Good camera placement.
Yep. But on the same topic, there are also people these days that won't watch anything unless it's at least a Blu-ray, if not a 4K. They won't watch. Yeah. And that to me is, you're just missing out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
You're just missing out on literally hundreds of thousands of movies that are fantastic that you'll never see.
Yeah. Some people say Help looks more dated with it being color, but I do like how that film looks. Me too. I think it's beautiful looking movie. I love all that. I don't want to say Batman because that's kind of what John, I think, wants to do, the Batman thing, or James Bond or whatever you want to say. I love that. It's just I love A Hard Day's Night for what it is in black and white. So too do I like the zany, wild comic book Help in color. What? Don't know what that is. $1 Million Movie was the same movie all week. Well, I remember that at one point. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I don't know what the King Kong one was, but they showed King Kong for, and so if it was a rainy Sunday, I would watch King Kong. I'd be outside in the summertime if it wasn't raining, but if it was a miserable day or whatever, I'd be inside watching King Kong every single Sunday.
As much as I love going outside, as much as I had a full childhood and enjoyed playing with my friends and went out and all that, I always, a lot of times, I also stayed in to watch my monster movies. I didn't give a damn.
Plus, that same station showed it like multiple times on Thanksgiving and Christmas, if not other holidays, maybe even New Year's too. They would just dig that movie out and just, there you go.
Yes, you can ask. We may ask, but you see, I can't answer this because I've met a lot of actors in person, and a lot. The ones that pop into my mind, I'll just rattle off a few. First of all, Charlton Heston. I'm a big Charlton. I met him 3 times. Al Pacino. I don't know, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider. I'm trying to think of like there were a lot of I can't even somebody I can't even think about it. I'm thinking of like the big ones, like big actors. There's a lot more, and I can't think of anyone on the spot. Uh, Christopher Lee, if you like Hammer horror films, he's the only one of the great horror actors that I got to meet. I'm glad I met him. He would never do. I am not a horror actor. Okay, whatever. What makes you happy, Dracula? But anyway, yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people. Tony Randall. How great was that? And Jack Klugman, both the odd couple.
Yeah,
I didn't get a
yeah,
picture with
otherwise
Klugman. Got a
it's not.
picture with Randall.
I at least got to see them in a play, but I never
Yeah,
met.
you're lucky to see that.
The only one I've ever met that I can remember, I met many musicians, but actors, Sandra Bullock is the only one I can remember meeting. She
Yeah,
just came into I worked at Whole Foods, and she came in and wanted to know if we carried ghee. And she was with Matthew McConaughey, but he didn't say two words. He just kind of stood in the background. And she was very nice, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. She more attractive in person than she was on film. And I always thought she was tall, and she's not. That surprised me. But it was weird. I was the bulk foods guy. I was filling the rolled oats, which you fill in a bin from a 50-pound bag. So you're struggling, And I'm looking at what I'm doing, trying not to spill rolled oats. And I hear this voice. Excuse me, can you help me for a minute? And I know the voice instantly, and I just stopped.
really. She got a
Oh
very.
crap!
You think she's got a distinctive voice?
Yeah, no, I knew who it was instantly, and
It wasn't like it
I
was Catherine
stopped
Hepburn
listening,
or
and I said,
something.
1 second, and I finished. I filled up the bin, and I slid the bin back in. Then I stood up, and I looked her in the eye, and I knew it, but I already knew. And yeah, but she was so kind, and we had two sizes of ghee, and she's like, well, because you brought me here and was so nice, I'll take the bigger one. And I said, well, okay, thank you. And she thanked me, and off she went. Because she grew up right across the street, literally across the street from the Whole Foods I worked in.
You got it made.
And her mother lived there, and she would go and see her mother and shop sometimes. She came in a few times, but this is the time I ever talked to her. She came with her sister once. Her sister was just as attractive as she was. It's like, oh my
Yeah, he's got a Sandra Bullock thing going, folks.
god.
Liking older movies, I almost prefer for movies to be in black and white. Colorizations I've seen look really cheesy, in my opinion. I'm old school. Me too. Most of them are horrible, especially the earlier colorization.
Yeah, they can do a good. I can tell you that this, even on a Blu-ray looked really good in color, and so does Miracle on 34th Street, and even It's a Wonderful Life. I don't prefer that in color, but it's okay in color, and I won't be mad at you if you watch it in color because it looks good.
So 12 Angry Men in school, I liked it, but don't remember too much. Been a while. I think that should be shown in school all the time. That is should be required viewing for people that are into movies, of the young people. I have yet to find somebody who's a younger person, even older or younger, who's seen the 12 Angry Men and didn't like it. Wasn't like intrigued by it. Now this is really horrendous. I know somebody told me he doesn't watch any movie before the year 2000. To me, I stopped watching a lot of movies after
I
2000.
would I would I would honestly say that person has never seen a movie.
No, that's a good way of putting it. It's a really good movie anyway.
I would say they've never seen a movie. What a movie is supposed to be, they've never seen one.
Yeah, well, this is true. Many of them are on Blu-ray at this point. I only buy DVDs with something I want that isn't on Blu-ray, which is rarer and rarer these days. Oh
Well,
yeah,
no,
but
there's still tons of stuff that's not. And the Blu-rays that do come out are like so limited. A lot of them these days that okay, this is out on Blu-ray. They did 2,000 copies worldwide. That's it. So best of luck.
I definitely remember the 4:30 movie on ABC. That was a big deal, very big deal. Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones in Bermuda.
Okay.
Catherine Turner has one of the most distinctive voices in film. Maybe, but I still would. If I just heard her voice behind me, I wouldn't say, well, that's. I think that's Catherine Turner.
Well,
Is it
I
Kathleen?
just
Kathleen Turner.
because Sandra Bullock has a slight Southern accent, and I just think it's a very distinctive voice. Plus, we all knew that her mother lived across the street,
Oh well, that
and
helps. That helps.
and at any time she could come into the store. She had before, and so I was, I wasn't that. I was just like, oh shit, in my head, oh crap. What do I
Well, that
do? Well, I have
look
to help her, obviously.
that helps the story tremendously. You saying that she was in the neighborhood and stuff, then I could understand it.
Yeah, no. Her mother, she grew up in Arlington, Virginia.
Adam West. I never got to meet Adam West. I would have liked to meet him. Batman. It would have been nice. I got too many favorite cult classics. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Russ Meyer's Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Everybody needs to see that movie. It's just so over the top. You can't get more over the top than that movie. It's just it's people have seen Tarantino's Death Proof. Oh, I think Faster Pussycat Kill Kill is way more over the top than that movie. It's just, but Tarantino definitely took an inspiration from it. It's a great film.
Well, agree with me as well.
Yeah.
Favorite movie after 2000? I have a bunch. I just can't always think of them. I love the. Well, I don't know if it's my favorite movie. I love the movie Doubt, that has a great performance in there by Philip Seymour Hoffman and Meryl Streep. I liked them squaring up on that, sparring in that movie. There were a lot of them. Why can't I think of them when I need them? That shows you how much they really pop in my head. Wow, there are some, but I can't think of them. Kill Bill. I love Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Yeah. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Why can't I think? And it's weird because Sandra Bullock's in this movie, and I'm not a huge Sandra Bullock fan, by the way. I know I said I think she's gorgeous and everything, but I'm not. I haven't even seen that many of her films. But what's the space film she did?
I don't know it.
It's just a one-word title. I thought that was the most fantastic movie. That went by like it was a 20-minute film. Somebody in the chat will know.
There's probably so many movies I could think
Gravity.
of.
Gravity. There you
Gravity?
go.
Okay.
Gravity is probably my favorite film past 2000. It's just done so well. It doesn't let up. It's a perfect film. It's only like 87 minutes long, which is as long as it needed to be. It's a great film.
Yeah, she's the one. Tora Santana. She's the one in Faster Pussycat.
Yes, Tora Santana is in Kill Bill.
Everybody was in Perry Mason episodes.
Yep.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, great film from the early 2000s. I mean, I'm trying to think. I know there's a lot, but damn, I can't come up with them. That's how much, even if I like them, but they really resonate with me, that I can't really they don't come right to mind. Worst Charlton Heston movie. I haven't seen them all yet, but he says his worst movie is his version of Call of the Wild, which probably is.
I don't know. I don't really do worsts anyway.
I don't know if Wes Beck is here watching. I don't know. He would have made a joke about Secret of the Incas. I still have that movie on the shelf that I got, Secret of the Incas. And I promised him I'd watch it before the end of the year. I got it on my calendar. I got it written on December 31st. It says Secret of the Incas on December 31st. Just so I know the
31st. At 11:59 p.m.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I made a promise that I would see it. The only reason I put it there was just to remind myself that without the year ending, I got to see it. But I got to get it on within the next 10, whatever it is, 10, 11 days. Jesus. Uh, Hello, Cherry Carter. What's going on?
Carter.
Uh, so, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember liking this much at all. I was disappointed with this movie. What do you think? What did you think? The Earth dies screaming.
Oh,
I think I remember I liked the idea of it. It's another apocalyptic movie, end of the world or something, but I didn't really like it.
I don't remember it. I know I've seen it, but I can't remember it at all, which probably will tell you a lot.
Charlton Heston's given name. Geez, I know his name, Carter. Uh, his last name's Carter, but I'm trying to think of what his first name was. Oh wow. Anyway, I think was his mother's maiden last name, and Heston was his stepfather's name. So Heston's his stepfather's last name, and Charlton was mother's maiden name. But I can't remember. The last name was Carter, but I can't remember. Robots were good in the movie Earth Dies Screaming, but not much else. Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you. Yeah, The Big Chill. Here's my feeling of The Big Chill. I saw it in the movie theater in 1983 and liked it. Then I watched it again many years later, like 10 years ago, and thought it sucked. I don't know what it is. The music, the music I liked a lot. When I say sucked, that's hard, but it was very. It wasn't as great as I remembered it, and I liked the music in it. But
I never seen it. It always seemed like a pretentious film to me. It was never a film that I wanted to see, so I never did.
yeah, speaking of Heston, the only thing I know about Soylent Green is there's a scene where someone plays Computer Space, the first released arcade video game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the first, but you see, the problem with movies like that, that's a subject in itself. Soylent Green is supposed to be New York City in the future, and it was filmed in '72. So they made it take place in 2022, 50 years in the future. Now, of course, 2022 is almost 3 years soon in the past. So they play it. There's this rich person who has a big arcade game in the living room, and that's it. I guess it's Computer Space, but it looks antiquated. But it's supposed to be futuristic. It looks so antiquated. But anyway, another problem with that film. I was just discussing this the other day with somebody. I love Charlton Heston, but in this particular movie, he's too old for the part. I think I usually watch a movie and I think to myself, I hate that they always use young. They always got to get young stars. Somebody that's like 18 to 25 or something. They never have older actors like 40 years old as the protagonist anymore or anything. But in this one, Charlton Heston was 49, going on 50. And he's supposed to play a younger, naive person who didn't grow up in the good old days, doesn't remember what the world was like. And Edward G. Robinson is his mentor. And Edward G. Robinson's last film, and he's an old man that tells him what it was like. You don't know what you missed. On my day, we had eggs in every store, lettuce. We could have whatever we wanted. Now this and that. You missed it. And he's like 50. I think he's playing younger though. He's playing like he's 35, 30 or 35. But you could have used a young. I can't think of the term. Went behind the ears actor in that movie. Yeah, that scene that he did was his last acting too. His that scene in Soylent Green. It's worth it just for that scene alone, in my opinion. Yeah, I saw it again. I always love every chance I get. I saw it as a 11-year-old on a bill with Westworld and Soylent Green together. Oh man, what a great double feature. supposed to be a Twilight Zone marathon. I don't know when, but it's the first episode to the last. They do this all the time, right? New Year's
Well,
or
high New Year's weekend. Usually like Sci-Fi or somebody does it.
yeah. Sure. I gotta be coming to an end soon with this show because I got some things to take care of. So we'll do another 5 minutes or so.
I've never seen them show them in order before from beginning to end, so that's different if they do that. Usually they show like a 6-hour block and then they show the same 6-hour block again, figuring the same people aren't watching it.
Yeah, Key Largo is a good film. I haven't seen it in ages, but I liked it when I saw it.
Yeah, no, Key Largo is good, yeah.
You know, Lauren Bacall. Oh, yeah. So, hey, we didn't talk about Jaws or Rocky
No.
or Star Wars. What else? Yeah.
We could talk about the Star Wars Christmas special.
What's an EGR? Edward G. Robinson. What is an Edgar? Edward G. Robinson. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. That's right. My Moses. Yeah. So, anyway, tomorrow morning on my other channel, Mean Mr. Mayo, I don't even have to bother flashing it, but I will anyway. If I could find out how to do it here. Jeez, I can't figure it out. Banners. Yeah, go over to Mean Mr. Mayo and subscribe. I know all of you are there anyway. Tomorrow morning, I'm doing a live stream at 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 Eastern, 12 hours roughly from now. Going to be doing my live stream Friday mornings, every Friday morning at 7:30. Danny's supposed to be up. We may have another guest tentative. And please check it out every Friday morning. I mean, Mr. Mayo. And Tim, why don't you talk about your show?
Which one?
Well, don't you only have the one that I know of? I'm talking about the Snap Crackle Pop.
Yeah. Well, I do a podcast weekly that's been doing Christmas the last couple weeks. Snapcracklepop.podomatic.com. It's audio only. It's all music from vinyl. And there's another Christmas episode coming out between Friday night and Saturday morning, probably. And I was on a podcast called Material Issues yesterday. If anybody wants to check that out, they could always use some views over there.
Material Issues, right?
Yep. And they're a good group of guys.
Well, thanks, Tim, for joining me here. And thank everybody for being in the questions gallery, the commenters. Appreciate it. We're not going to be able to do a show. I'm not going to be doing a show next Thursday. We're going to be away and everything. But I want to wish everybody here happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Absolutely. Happy holidays, everyone.
And see you around. Thank you all.
Thanks
Cheerio.